So we have a lot to talk about today. Last night I posted a video talking about the Houston Texans having the #1 overall pick because I thought it was a lock that they were going to get the #1 overall pick, and in perfect fashion, of course, they don't end up getting that pick, and it goes to the Bears. And if you didn't watch the Colts-Texans game, the Houston Texans did quite literally everything in their possible powers to lose this #1 overall pick, like a 4th and 13, a 4th and 20. Davis Mills did everything he could to win that football game. And shout out to them being competitors. That's a great thing to see. It helps the narrative that tanking isn't a real thing, and the Colts get a better draft pick, and the Bears now basically control the entire offseason as they have the #1 overall pick, and they have the most cap space in the entire NFL going into this offseason with their superstar quarterback. Now you just have to build around him. And what I wanted to talk about in this video is what I expect the Bears to do with this pick, and what are some avenues, what are some teams that they could potentially trade with, because I think the correct decision that Ryan Poles should do in his, I think, first real offseason, I don't know when he got hired last year, but this is like the first time where he got to see and evaluate his players and be able to make as many decisions as he wants with as much freedom as he really can have. I mean, talk about when was the last time we had the #1 overall pick have the most cap room and also have their franchise quarterback on a very small contract. This is a great position if you are a Chicago Bears fan, and I understand Chicago sports are in a desperate need to have that kind of hope, I would say, because the Bulls' future looks very grim. The White Sox are iffy here and there, and then the Cubs have a little bit of hope, but specifically the Bears are the heart and soul of Chicago. So you have been waiting to have this hope that you're going to get this 4,000-yard passer, which you might have in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is almost becoming underrated as a passer because he's so damn good on the ground. And I think the potential is through the moon with this guy. Now you just have to build a good offensive line around him, because you can't rely on a running quarterback of that caliber at his frame for 3, 4, 5 years. You have to make sure that you build something around him where he can be able to pass the ball comfortably. And not to mention, I just got a notification on my phone last night that Lovie Smith got fired, which does not surprise me. I feel bad for Lovie Smith. I don't think his tenure with the Texans, his legendary, unforgettable tenure with the Texans, should not be what he is seen as a head coach. He has done a lot of great things in his career, and I still think he should get an opportunity to coach football at either a college or NFL level. I don't think the Texans are a good representation of how good of an NFL head coach. I don't think Bill Belichick could succeed in that situation. The Texans, from a ownership down, is a mess, and the team should be sold and stay in Houston by all means, but there needs to be an injection of life into that franchise, because right now they are the bottom feeder. They are the Cleveland Browns right now of the 2020s. There's no way around it when it comes to the Houston Texans, and Bill O'Brien truly had ruined a franchise, and it still lingers to this day. But what I really want to pivot towards, what I really want to talk about, are the trade partners that the Bears could have. What the Bears could do with this #1 overall pick is, because when you have this pick, it's not like the #2 pick. Like the best example and what is set the market right now is the Trey Lance trade with, I believe it was the 49ers, and I can't remember who was the #2 overall pick that they traded up to go get. I'll put it on the screen, and I'm very upset that I can't remember what team had the #2 overall pick to go get Trey Lance. Or it could be #3. I could be very wrong. But it was a massive trade. I'm getting all the details messed up, but you'll see it on your screen. That is what set the market, and you have to take it maybe a step or two above, because it's the #1 overall pick, and because there's 2 top-tier quarterbacks that are going to be gone within the top 3 picks. And now, if you want to go get a guy, if you like CJ Stroud as the QB1, you have to go make a trade with the Bears. If you like Bryce Young as your QB1, you have to go make a trade with the Bears. Because with the Texans having the #2 overall pick, they're going to not control their destiny. And really, I think, even though I disagree with it and I would go defensive, like I said in my last video, if you want to go see why I think they should go defensive no matter where they pick, because even though I was wrong in saying that they have the #1 overall pick, my stance still is there, where I think the Texans should go with defense. And I think that they should go get one of the two between Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. And let me make it clear, the Bears don't have to trade this pick. I think it would be, I guess the best way I could put it is not using the value of the pick to the best of its capabilities. But if you really like Will Anderson or you really like Jalen Carter, go get those guys, because I think those are the only two options. You're not going to go quarterback with Justin Fields on your roster, so you're going to go defense, and you need pass rushers. You just got rid of Roquan Smith. You just lost Khalil Mack. I think, yeah, you just lost Khalil Mack last offseason. You've gotten rid of Robert Quinn. You've lost all your pass rushers that made that defense so good. You have to go get a guy. So one of those two guys are great options. That's what makes the Bears situation so perfect, is they don't technically have to trade, but the value there with top tier quarterbacks being the 1 and 2, you have to potentially look into those options. And you think of teams like the Panthers, you think of teams like the Jets, which I think the Jets are less likely because I think they're really going to be a team that goes and gets Jimmy Garoppolo. You think of the Colts, you think of plenty of other teams in the NFL. I'll throw pictures on the screen because right now my mind is blanking. And I want to specify with the Panthers because I think they're the most intriguing option, because I think they have plenty of assets that could definitely trade. You could throw in 2 first-round picks and Brian Burns, and then you have to take it a couple extra steps because Brian Burns has been thrown around. But the thing is, what makes that offer so enticing to me, and there's no rumors of this, is just coming off the top of my head if I was the Panthers GM, is you give the Bears the pass rusher that they want, you still get the number 1 overall pick, and you give them some more assets moving forward, and they get their first-round pick this year so they can go draft a guy later into the first round, like a weapon, like a Jackson Smith and Jigma, or a Jordan Addison, or potentially just someone else. Like maybe you go get a safety blanket for Justin Fields and get like a Brock Bowers. There's plenty of options that you can go with. I don't know if Brock Bowers is actually draft eligible. Maybe a Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. You have plenty of options if you're the Bears. But the Panthers, let me pivot to what I think is interesting about the Panthers. Obviously, you have to figure out what you want to do with the head coaching situation. You got rid of Matt Rule. Replacement head coach comes in and has done a fantastic job. The offensive line has looked great. The running game has looked great. You still have DJ Moore on a contract. You have a young secondary with J.C. Horn, who has looked fantastic. The fact that he didn't make a Pro Bowl is a crime. That is an all-pro corner. They have a lot of good talent on that defense. Losing Brian Burns would hurt, but I think it wouldn't be the biggest shock that they get rid of him sometime in the offseason. The Panthers, I have a concern that they're going to see Sam Darnold excel with this new head coach. I think it's Wilkes. And you're going to see this bridge quarterback and be like, okay, we have at least another year of Darnold. Let's go get a Will Levis and take a chance on Will Levis, who is going to end up being in the top 15, top 20 because of his skill set and his Josh Allen-like build. And we see Josh Allen make these crazy plays. If you didn't see Josh Allen this weekend make that throw to Stephon Diggs from the other hash and go to the left side corner, go watch that play. That will tell you why NFL GMs, not a lot of quarterbacks can make that throw with the flick of their wrist. That is why these NFL GMs are considering Will Levis at such a high rate, even though he did not have the quarterback statistics at the college level, because he makes those types of throws. Like, that is what you want in an NFL quarterback, to make those crazy throws, to develop those guys, to bring in someone that you believe that you could develop and trust yourself, and so that you're not sitting here on Black Monday and getting fired like Cliff Kingsbury did just 20 minutes ago, which I'm making a video right after this talking about the Cardinals situation and how grim their future is and how I'm very concerned of what the Cardinals are going to do going into this. I believe they have the 3rd overall pick or 4th overall pick. I can't remember. Listen, guys, it's early in the morning. Yeah, sorry if I keep saying I can't remember things. Sorry, I don't got a photogenic memory. I just remember little details, and there's no script here, so we're just going and riding with it. So what the Bears should do, I think you got to consider all your options. I think the Colts are desperate to bring in a young quarterback. They have plenty of talent to offer up, DeForest Buckner, things like that. I don't know if they would move off of guys like that, but you can ask definitely when you're talking about the Colts, just because I believe 2 years ago they had the most Pro Bowlers, and whether or not you take the Pro Bowl seriously or not, that just shows that you still have some high-end talent on this defense and offensive line and throughout this offense, and they are desperate for a quarterback, and specifically a guy like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young fits what this offense needs. The Texans, you can go see if you could get more assets from them, but the thing is with the Texans, yes, they're quarterback needy, but I think they would rather sit and wait and make a decision from what the first pick is going to be. But the Texans, obviously, they fumbled the bag here. I by all means, yes, you get that win against a division rival. That means nothing but hurt your position. Davis Mills, and I don't support tanking, but there's no moral victory from that win, other than the players just proving their skill set. And I understand from the players' perspective, they're competitors. They want to win every single weekend. They're getting paid to do their job. And I'm just a guy with a microphone. I want to make that very clear. I understand that. But from the aspect of a management of a team, this nothing but hurt the Texans and benefited the Bears, who were already in a fantastic position at the number 2 overall pick, in a prime position to trade down already. Now you have the glorious number 1 overall pick. I'm excited to talk about and make trade like speculation videos when we get closer, so I can kind of see what teams are willing to be traded up, because I want to say the Panthers right now here in January, but they could definitely be a team that is more likely to go with an AR-15, more likely to go with a Will Levis later into the first round than spending all that draft capital to move forward. So let me know what team, if your team is a guy that needs a QB1, would you trade up with the Bears, and what would you give up? What do you think is the market for the number 1 overall pick? And if you're the Bears fans, let me know what is your dream offseason. And we'll talk about as we get deeper into the offseason. The NFL playoffs are here. Black Monday is here. We have to talk about coaches being fired. We have to talk about so many different things. The college football playoff final is here, folks. So let's have a great day. Go eat some wings. Go watch the national championship. Let's talk some sports. Enjoy and have a wonderful day.